statement. Please raise your hand for questions. Coach?
All right. Yeah, hey guys, man, excited. It's finally game week. I feel like it's been a long time since December, and we've had a lot of work that we've put in since that time too. You think about all the new scholarship players that we have, the winter program, the spring that we went through, and then this summer. Our guys have worked extremely hard to come together as a football team, to be a connected football team, to be a disciplined football team, and all the things that we've worked on this off season. So we're excited about actually playing somebody else and not hitting each other, and getting out on the field and then playing in Nippert, man. What a great venue that we get to play in. Would encourage everyone to show up and show out in this game. It's such a tremendous home field advantage for us to be able to play at Nippert, and so I'd encourage everybody to come out. If you're on the fence, come on out and watch our team play. We've got a lot of new guys, and they're exciting to watch. And also we got a lot of guys back that are exciting to watch. I think about first games from last year to coming into this year, and you think about offensively. I think we had one returning starter last year. Now we're sitting here with our, starting offensive line back, Corey Connor back, Xavier back, AT back. So there's a lot of guys back offensively, with the addition of some talented players that we feel, Sorsby, Joe Royer, a couple of wideouts, upgraded tight end room. That's going to be nice. The thing about defensive side of the ball, you think about a bunch of new DBs, where we definitely needed to get some more talent in here, and we did, with a bunch of guys in the secondary. Which excited to watch those guys play. And then our linebacker room, man, I'm excited to watch that room in maybe as any position. I feel like we got at least 6-7 guys right there that'll be in rotation that will play in the game, and they can all run and hit. Really excited about that. So yeah, overall, we're pumped about being able to go forward and play this first game against Towson. We know their coach, it's his second season as well, and last year was around a 500 ball team, but man, they play hard. They're coached well. They get after it. They make it tough on their opponents. And they had a couple of good wins last year, upsetting a couple of teams, New Hampshire, William and Mary. So I got a tight end. I think he's up for some watch list type things. List him at 6'6". So he's a good player. They're going to try to get the ball to him. Running back runs hard. Defensively, they're an odd scheme, but they do bring a lot of different pressures from their linebackers. So they try to confuse offenses. But they do a nice job. Kicker's solid, so we certainly have a good opponent here in this first week.
Questions for Coach, Chad, and Scott?
Any updates on Dante and what his availability might be?
No, I still don't know. Again, we'll take Dante day by day. As you guys know, he's been here all summer working out with the guys and the team, and he's gotten himself in great shape. The only thing he hasn't done is the 11-on-11 work, and so again, that remains to be seen. As soon as our doctors, cut him loose to play, we'll play him. So we're still sitting there waiting now.
This is a game you should win. Is this when you pull out the speech where you say, I think it was 2007, I was in Ann Arbor and look what happened? Beware.
Yeah, I think in this day and age in college football, anybody can beat anybody. You better show up and play, and it's the team that prepares the best and has their mind right on that game day. And obviously, Townsend's playing at a level up this week, and and I know I've been at that level. Anytime you play up, you want to play your very best. Wherever you're at, you're going to play a little bit better. You're going to be a little bit more attention to detail. So certainly get their best shot. And but I do think it's more about us. It's more about how we prepare, how hard we can go out and practice this week and get a great game plan and go out and execute. And I think that's what it's all about. But it's about getting your mind right.
You mentioned how deep and what a great group of linebackers you have, and obviously your D line's a little depleted at this point. Do you do different things in this game, or maybe even down the road in future, to try to compensate with your linebacker group to make up for some of those deficiencies you had at D line?
I think you start the season and you find you have an idea about maybe some things that we want to get done and do. To best help our team and best help our guys to be successful as individual players, because obviously there's strengths and weaknesses on your individual players. I think as we start to get in the first game, we got to find some things out. Maybe guys play a little bit better than maybe we thought. Maybe you're able to rotate more and keep them fresh, and they're playing harder or whatever it may be up front. Because we got some numbers, but we got some guys that haven't played as much, so up front. So that's going to be interesting, I think. And I also think at linebacker, you think about Dingle. Dingle had to play so many snaps last year. We really couldn't sub him out. We feel like we can this year. So I think those guys will be fresh. When you think about second quarter and fourth quarter, and I told our defensive coaches, we have to have a plan early to, get guys in. Let's rotate, because I don't think there's a much drop off. I think the next guys coming in are going to be just as good. They bring a little bit something different to the table. So, having said that, then yes, I think we can do some things to maybe take some pressure off the D line, where you were able to move some linebackers around and maybe hit some different gaps with the linebackers. But I do think the beauty of it, we have a lot of different variety that we can do with that within Coach White's scheme. A 3-down, 3 linebackers, but you can interchange those guys in a lot of different ways.
There's obviously a lot of factors leading into this season that make it a really important season for you. Are you someone that feels that pressure? Are you compartmentalizing it? Do you kind of see this as a true year one with your program, or how are you looking at this upcoming season?
And I just take every season as it is, one single season, and to try to do the best we can possibly do. You can't really, you don't want to look back, you don't want to look ahead, you want to stay in the moment, you want to stay right here with this team and put out a product that can go out and win games. We worked our butts off this all season to try to put a better product out there on the field. We went out and found a bunch of players that we feel like will play for each other, that will give us a chance. You still got to go out and put a plan together and play. Then a lot of it depends on who you're playing week in and week out. And how these teams are. We sit here, we don't know how these teams are going to be. I laugh at the preseason polls a lot, because you have no idea, particularly this day and age, with all this turnover that we have. Like, you don't know, and it's all based on what you did the previous year. And so you take it one game at a time, one season at a time, do the very best you can, and hope it's good enough.
You guys rushed for over 200 yards last year. What's the one key that makes your running game so successful?
Yeah, it starts up front, and I think that was a big unknown last year when you think about the offensive line. There's a lot of new starters, a lot of new first-time guys. They did a really nice job, I think. The other thing is we're patient with the running game. I think everybody knows, there's jokes out there about how much we run the ball sometimes, but we feel we're good at it. And I think if you stick to it and your guys believe in it, then they feel like they can get the yards. Corey Kiner had a great year last year. He runs really hard. He breaks tackles. He gets first downs. And, but I do also think if you can run the football and you play good defense, it's been a history in the history of college football or NFL for that matter. If you can do those two things, then you win a lot of football games. So hopefully we'll still be able to run the football and play good defense and be able to win some games. But it does start up front with their guys, and we got a great group to start with.
It looks like they throw the ball a fair amount. You mentioned the tight end run. I know they've got 2 receivers, returning quarterback. How important is it for your new secondary to show out, and how improved are they?
Yeah, we'll find out Saturday. I think they certainly will be tested. This team likes to throw the ball, put the ball in the air. They got some talent out wide, including the tight end. They did get a transfer quarterback as well, so they got a couple of guys that they may end up playing at the quarterback position. It'll be good to see. They'll spread us out. They'll do some things to try to put pressure on us, but it'll be interesting to see how our guys respond. Can we create pressure at times? Can we get to the quarterback and make him do some things that he doesn't want to do, and also can we stay on top? That's the big thing that I'm obviously looking for, is not letting people get behind us. It's something we've worked on all summer and spring, so hopefully we'll be able to do that and mix it up defensively, so the quarterback doesn't just sit there and know exactly what we're doing.
Especially in this league, run defense is going to be of the utmost importance against a team that throws it a little bit more. Do you hope they try to work it on the ground quite a bit, because you don't know where you're at?
Yeah, I think they like to run it too. Their running back is very capable, I think, with what they do. So you just never know, especially first games when guys come in, like what's their identity going to want to be on their team? You just don't know. I think as coaches, they're going to find out what they feel like they're good at and maybe try to do that more. but you just never know. So we have to be ready for everything. You have to be able to defend the run and the pass equally as effective. So we'll see. I think for me, obviously, the first games, I think it's more important, like what our guys do, like, and how our guys play as an individual, but also as a unit. How, what's going to be our best things that we do this year, and then where we got to get better at. So this first game is going to be to tell a lot about that. And the other thing is, I'm excited about seeing a lot of players play. I think we got to play a lot of players early in the season, because what I just mentioned, you're going to get guys dinged up throughout the season. But if you've played guys early, they've got some experience under their belt, and you're not just throwing them in the fourth game or fifth game for the first time. They've been able to play. So, I told our staff, man, rotate guys, keep them fresh. Let's play a lot of guys. It also helps morale on a football team, to get guys in there. They know they're going to be able to play, and when they get that opportunity, they got to go make plays. And obviously, if you can make plays, you'll play more. So, but playing a lot of guys, I'm anxious to see how our guys do that.
What's Soares be like game week? I know it's early in the week, but is there a switch that flips there even higher for your new quarterback?
We haven't experienced Soares being a game yet. Our staff hasn't. He's played a lot. But I think he's a guy, I think, that is excited for the game. I think he's probably more of a gamer. He's fine in practice, does a great job. But I think, man, when it's time to play ball, like, he's going to be able to, some unscheduled plays, he's going to be able to make some plays for you that in practice maybe you don't see as much. So I'm looking forward to watching that, and decision making, and he's still a relatively young player. He's only played 1 year, really, so, I'm sure he'll make some mistakes out there. And then how do you overcome those? How do you come back the next time? Great quarterbacks that I've been a part of, when they do make a mistake, they come back the next drive. Usually you go score a touchdown, so that'll be interesting to see. But he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of ability. The team has responded around him, but again, I think collectively as a unit, how are we going to be able to play? Because it's not just him. We got a lot of guys. The beauty of it is we got starters up front. We got a run game that we really rely on. So hopefully that'll make it easier for him.
What would you define as success in year two?
Oh man, hopefully we can win some games, man. Obviously that's what everybody looks at, and if you're not winning games, they don't see that as success. So hopefully we're winning games and we're able to go to postseason play, and I think that's certainly something that we're going to be, wanting to gear towards. I think for us, we talked about it all season, is defending the nip. That's a big goal of ours in our team, and it starts this week as we're playing at home. And so hopefully we're playing well here. We got a great home field advantage, packing this place out, and we want teams when they come here to have to worry a little bit. That's a tough place to go play. So I think that's our first goal, and hopefully we'll get that accomplished this week.
What do you see from Tyron Smith at Higher Ground, and what do you hope he can bring to your offense this season?
Yeah, he's an experienced receiver. I think about him and Jamoy Mays. We just looked it up. They both have had over 1,000 yards in their career in a single season. They both have over 100 catches. And I think AT and Xavier have over 100 catches. There's 4 receivers with over 100 career catches in college football. It's pretty good to have that experience. But Tyron in particular is a guy who, he's not very big, but he can run. He's got a great knack and feel for spatial awareness, getting open in places and finding grass. He's got good hands. He can catch the deep ball, but he also can catch the underneath. So I think he's very versatile. I think him and AT will, both of them provide something in the slot that we'll be able to rotate out and really not have any drop off between either one of those guys. So I'm excited about both of those guys in the slot.
You've mentioned preseason polls, not really knowing what kind of team you have. In your experience, is it after fall camp that do you know more now about this team after fall camp, or what week of the season do you kind of expect to know what team you have?
That's a great question. I asked Dan Horde, I said, all the years you've been covering the Bengals and the Bearcats, looking at them in camp, because he's a lot of practice, can you tell what kind of team they're going to have? He said, no, not really. It's hard to know, because, I feel like I know about the players that have played for us. Like, I know how they're going to react on game day, but the new guys, I don't really truly know how they're going to react on game day. Sometimes guys play better on game day. Sometimes guys get in a little bit of a shell, so that remains to be seen. But I do think after 3 games, you get a good feel for the guys and how they're going to play, so you also don't know what all your opponents are going to be able to do. You don't know what kind of teams they're going to have. So, but I do think, the guys that have played for us, we got a great feel and indication of how they're going to play. Now, we hope the guys that have come in and had great fall camps, some of these freshmen, some of these transfers, we feel like they'll play at a high level, and that's what we're anxious to see.
If Dante can't go at nose guard, is it Burns, Rutherford, or TBD?
Yeah, both of those guys. And, I mean,
All three of them.
yeah, I mean, all three. We'll rotate. You know, I'm sitting here looking at the depth chart, man. We got a lot of guys that will play up front. But you know, I think Cam has had a really good camp. You know, really good, man. He's, you know, doesn't always go the right way every time, you know, because he's still learning the system. But he does a great job of putting pressure in the pocket. Burns brings a little bit different to me. Burns he's extremely quick up front, and it has caused some problems there for our offensive lines at times. Harris Adams is another guy who's a little bit different. He's a bigger guy. I feel like he can plug the gaps and really create some push, particularly on third down and goal line. You know, so man, we're going to rotate those guys and keep them fresh, and hopefully they're making plays.
Dante aside, the orange jersey brigade was getting pretty big towards the end of camp, and when you came back to campus, is that getting any better as we get closer to game week?
It is. You know, we feel like we're getting some of the, you know, particularly O-line, D-line, you know, but got a lot of guys back. You know, Wilder right now is still a question mark. Buford's back, ready to go. Milan is back, still a question mark at O-line wise. Who else? Harder's back. He practiced at the end of last week. You know, so we feel like we're getting most all our guys back, offensive line wise, which is really a good thing. You know, we kind of been banged up there, so it kind of hurts our scout teams on both sides, O-line and D-line. You know, and you know, we talked about the D-line, a couple of guys that are out for the season, which hurts. Corleone's, you know, hadn't been able to go, so I mean, those are three guys right there, potential starters. You know, that two of them are out, and one of them we still don't know. So that's why I think D-line is kind of the big question mark for us, because of, you know, the lack of people that we have there that have played.
You guys named your captains, and Derek Canteen was among them. When you sat down with him, when you're recruiting him out of the portal, did you expect that to be a possibility, or did he kind of exceed every expectation you set for him so far?
Yeah, I mean, certainly when you brought him in and talked to him, his parents, I mean, man, he's a high character guy, just very, you know, speaks very well. And then I had some guys that I've coached with at Virginia Tech that said it would not surprise them if he's going to be a captain for you guys. I mean, they told us that. So he was well respected there at Virginia Tech. And then he, you know, right from the start in the winter workouts, man, we, you know, strength coach and strength staff would tell me that, hey, he's a good leader, you know. And then he just earned his respect from the guys. He tries to lift them up. He tries to, you know, continue to keep them playing at a high level. He does things right, you know. I think his dad was in the military for like 25 years, you know, so he comes from that type of family, you know, and very disciplined, doing things right. So it's really wasn't a surprise when the guys voted him in, and you know, we're excited for him to be a leader and a captain on our team. And the other three certainly were not surprises. I mean, they've been the heart and soul of this team the last few years, and so I was glad they were rewarded as well.
Any other questions for Coach? Thank you,
All
sir.
right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.